It's been fun. Nearly 4 months, could almost say 24/7 time with our athletes. 13 of our 20 athletes live here in Skien Park campus, as we do as the staff. So we see them all the time, how they eat, how they take care of themselves, how they live in their apartments, which is a big part of our program, to teach our athletes to prepare themselves well for their performance, their games, their practice, their school. So it's very important for us to know how they live, what kind of daily habits they have and routines, so that they can increase their performance level. Sleeping, eating, schoolwork, how they have it in the apartment is a big part of performance. We believe so here in Nordic Hockey Academy, and 4 months has really shown good results. Players started with different backgrounds. Some haven't done very much themselves, cooked food, taking care of their daily habits, task management, time management has been a little bit of a challenge. But since the months went on here, I think players really understood the importance, and it's been really fun. We've seen good development both academically, mentally, hockey-wise, strength-wise. So we're very motivated. It's soon Christmas time, and looking forward for the next part of the season. Nordic Hockey Academy is a minor American university program, if you can call it that way. I'm educated as a teacher myself and doing a psychotherapy education at the moment. I'm a big believer in educating person as a whole, not just as an athlete. And academics, schooling, whole private life management is a big part of being a successful individual, and that reflects on their sports performances. Therefore, Nordic Hockey Academy, and the word academy comes from North American concept academics, and we are very keen on focusing academic performance. So you could almost say 51% of our time is to educate our athletes off the ice, including school, and 49% of the focus will be performance on the ice, developing them as hockey players. So we're definitely putting more time into developing our athletes to have life balance mentally. That's why we also do mental training every week, to help our athletes to understand how body and mind should work together. So that's basically Nordic Hockey Academy in a nutshell. We're not very focused or eager about winning games at this time, right now, when players are 15, 16, 17, 18, even 19. We believe in long-term development. We believe in daily habits and quality in every practice. And we believe that practice quality has to be a lot better and faster than the games you play. And when we put that ideology in everyday practice, we already seen results, and I think that's the key to success. I also believe that, and this is for parents and athletes out there, how often do you think what happens after high school? Always been an interesting question in my mind. Your career basically starts academically, but also sport-wise when you're 20, plus 20. And a lot of the European leagues demand player to be ready to step into senior hockey already when they're 19, 20. And that's a challenge. Hockey gets better every day all over the world, and for you to step into the senior world that early, you have to be extremely good. And that limits a lot of players out of that equation. Where North American college, NCAA as they call it, you can play there until you're 25, which gives you 5 more years to develop yourself, both mentally, physically, technically, tactically, be more adult, and it's easier for you to step into the senior world after. And that's kind of the vision and motivation we have here. Not everybody is going to make it. Not everybody wants to go that way, but the ones that can and will would like to support and motivate them to take that path, invest into their lives, also after athlete career, then they have something to fall back to, academic education, and financial safety in their life, which is very important when we look at young young students that needs to be at least good members in a society. If they don't make it as a pro athletes, then they're good members in any society they live in, and try to contribute something back. And academic education is a big part of that. So that's basically our philosophy a little bit, how we develop our players. Like I said, mental training, video coaching, individual development talks are our weekly food for our athletes, and naturally on ice and physical training. But I could almost say that 80% is mental and developing mentality of our athletes, and 20% is developing skills and physical abilities. And our athletes have really bought into it, and it's very fun to see, because they think very different than many other players out there. Like I said earlier, Nordic Hockey Academy should be a platform for athletes and families to invest into their children's future, both academic-wise and sport-wise. Our goal is to enlarge our program to multiple sports, not just ice hockey. We're looking into 2-3 more team sports now within the next 1-2 years. So I think we are more, when you talk about Nordic Hockey Academy or Nordic Sports Academy, it should be a philosophy that we're selling instead of the sport. And that philosophy should be included in different sports we offer to families. So that's one. I know it's an offensive and very bold goal, but I think we're doing the right steps here. I think we're working with right people here in order to get that dream completed. I also see Nordic Hockey Academy maybe being a motivator to other clubs in hockey world in Europe to really put focus on combining school with sports. And if we can do that well in high school level, maybe in one day in the future, Europe or Scandinavia could be candidate to build a university level league just like they have in North America. That would be kind of like my wild dream, that Nordic Hockey Academy high school program here could motivate even universities to build a similar program in Europe that they have in North America. That's an easy question to answer. Skien, as they call Skien in Norwegian, it's a town or city in Telemark County, south from Oslo. For me, I get to know this place first time 2009 through hockey camps, summer hockey camps, and I came here and people were very motivated to cooperate, very humble, nice, positive people. Little typical small area town attitude, and I like that. It was very welcoming feeling to come here. Not only that, but they have built a large sports center in the middle of this town, which has basically all facilities you can just dream of for a sport academy, from indoor waterland, spa, to football, handball, courts, climbing wall, curling, ice hockey, even horseback riding, you name it. So they're all here, and I think they're very compact, easy to go, walk to all those facilities within a few minutes. We have a professional full-size fitness center here with cross-trainer facilities, yoga rooms, spinning rooms. So the facilities are absolutely one of the best I've seen in Scandinavia. In addition to that, we also have apartments available in close area, close range from the sports center, which is very easy for athletes. They can walk to the center, they can take a bike to the center, and they don't need much of hectic public transportation. There's no subway, no city tram here, so the traffic is light. It's easy to come from A to B, and it's also a little bit middle of the forest, middle of the nature, which gives our players the possibility to be a little bit isolated from distracting big cities and activities that might take our our athletes to wrong paths. We don't have that here, which is a big plus for families to send their 15, 16-year-olds here alone. That the area is very safe, very nature friendly, and very well located in the city. We're also very well, if you look at geographically in Norway, we are exactly between Oslo area and Stavanger, where the most of the hockey teams are located today. So for our travel times, when we travel to games, it's very, very economical, and it's very comfortable for our athletes to travel to games. We also have an airport here, 40 minutes from the center. International airport, smaller, not the main airport, but flights to Amsterdam and all the way across the world from here, which is very convenient when we travel to, let's say, Sweden or Central Europe or even overseas. We can use our local airport for that. Those were the basic reasons why I chose Skien, as well as they have good facilities, but they did not have a team, U18 and U20 here before. And if you look at ice halls around, especially Norway, very limited amount of ice halls, clubs that don't have U18, U20 hockey, I think Skien is probably the only one that has this facility and don't have hockey in that age group yet. So club was very motivated to start this. Club was, we were keen on this for 3 years before we started this, and now we're finally here. And there was many saying that no, that's not possible. You can't start a Nordic Hockey Academy in a little town like Skien. But now we have 20 players moved here from different countries, live here, go to schools, and we play in the Norwegian U18 league. So far, we're leading the league and doing what we're supposed to do, and looking forward to continue that trend in Skien. Schools are a big part of our academy, and where we are unique is that we have several different academic paths that our students and families can choose. There's not too many centers, clubs, or programs that can offer so many different academic schools than we can. In a close area here in Grenland, it's called here, we have 5 schools that we cooperate with. One is Sports High School, public school, which is exactly on the campus. So some of the students walk 2 minutes to the school. They have a media communication line, they have gastronomy line, cooking class, and they have a sport class where they can specify their studies towards sports. Then we have a professional school for the ones that choose to have a profession same time with their academic high school studies, being electrician, plumber, carpenter. All those options are available here within 3 kilometers from the sports center. Then we have a normal high school in the city, which is has good focus on arts and music. We have one student going there now for the music class. He's a very skilled guitar player and wanted to keep his hobby throughout his high school studies, and he's also part of our program. We have also IB school in Porsgrunn, which is a bit further away from here, but still convenient distance. IB is International Baccalaureate, which means you're doing your high school studies in English. Here in Porsgrunn, you do it bilingually, Norwegian and English. Very respected educational program. We don't have any students there now, but we will most likely have one for next season. Very happy that we can provide English high school studies for especially foreign students. That school has a very high academic demand and only take limited amount of students every year. So the challenge to come in there is quite hard, but still available. And last but not least, we have Telemark Toppidrettsgymnas, which is a private high school focused on top sports. So athletes that want to combine academic studies with their sports. The easiest and best option that way for the weekly hours they can practice school time is Telemark Toppidrettsgymnas. They have a fantastic facility in a professional football arena here in the city. 300 students from 12 different sports and many national team level athletes in their school system. 9 of our students this year go to Telemark Toppidrettsgymnas, and they're very satisfied with their academic path there. And those are the schools that we cooperate with in the area. And we're very happy that students are dealt into different schools. It gives us a chance to work in the mornings more individually in smaller groups because they have different schedules. But also they get different social networks, different friends. And that's very, very important again when we're developing the person. So we are very happy with the cooperation with all the schools, and we're obviously very dependent on Telemark Toppidrettsgymnas support and help as a private sports high school. But we also like the fact that players are willing to follow their academic dreams and choose different kind of schools and still combine sports and their dream to develop as an athlete together with their high school studies. As said earlier, academic performance in our vision is a direct reflection on how they perform on the ice. When you explain this to 16, 17, 18-year-old players first, they start looking at you like, what do you mean school performance has anything to do how I play on the ice? But if you look at the big picture, if they don't succeed in school, they will get pressure from teachers, they'll get pressure from parents, and they will eventually get pressure from coaches in Nordic Hockey Academy. And that obviously creates stress, mental stress, which often ends up in stress when you're performing. So again, teaching athletes that mind and body works together. Better you coordinate your private life, including your school routines, better focus and execution you have in your sports. And that's basically our vision here. And by that, they also learn time, task, and space management very well. They understand how important preparation is. So focus is not only on ice training, yes, now we're on the ice, but they start understanding off-ice training, importance, stretching, cool down, nutrition, rest and sleep, and also academic work. So I think we have succeeded well, because this is something new. I feel in Europe, generally, not everybody, but generally, schools are separated from clubs, where clubs don't really, in the evening time, afternoon time, put a lot of focus in their school performance or results. They might ask once in a while, how's your school, and that's it. But we in Nordic Hockey Academy have weekly meetings with the school teachers, go through our athletes, how they do in school, what they need extra. And if they're hanging back in academic studies, we give them off from ice to do extra academic hours to catch up. And I think that cooperation is vital, very important, in order to reach that long-term goal, developing comprehensive athletes and stable persons for taking the next step after high school. Good question. I like that question. I get that question very often. People ask what kind of player you want to have in your program, or what should the player know or can before they apply here. I always say, for me, like I said earlier in the interview here, hockey skills is one. Obviously, you have to have a experience of playing competitive hockey, so you can you have enough motoric skills to learn your techniques and get stronger in your body, control your muscles. That's one. But one even larger demand is how you are as a person, and how disciplined you are, how humble you are, how motivated you are to change daily habits, to step into something new, move away from home, take care of yourself. Naturally, we help them and guide them, but that's one. And also, it's always a shock moving from primary school to secondary school or high school. Academically, big difference, but also sport-wise, coming from childhood hockey to competitive hockey. Bodies are changing, puberty hits in, girlfriends comes in, your daily life changed completely from 16 to 20. That period, a lot of things happen. Also, possibility to play 2 World Championships. So there's a lot of mental pressure, excitement, curiosity. All those things are kicking in same time. So like I said, in a nutshell, we're looking for motivated, hardworking, humble, and disciplined athletes that understand the importance of academic performance, combining it with high-level sport demand. And when they understand that long-term development plan and working day by day, doing daily habits, you're the right man to join our program. Okay, when it comes to cost of Nordic Hockey Academy, we're trying to put in as much quality and service to families and athletes as we can by keeping the price level competitive in Norwegian market. So we are, after research, we're definitely not more expensive than the other existing programs in Norway, which is very glad because we have implemented in mental coaching, individual physical training program, video coaching. We practice twice a day on the ice, 3 times a week with all players. We have a psychologist, a yoga teacher that is in part of our program, helping our athletes on weekly basis almost. We have own bus that we use for away games, which is very comfortable. We have meals provided by a partner in all away games for our athletes, so they don't have to worry about nutrition. We also have a catering company here in the area bringing us dinner in home games to the arena, so athletes don't have to start cooking after games or worry about their recovery and nutrition. We also have several other partners that are interested in our program that really gives a great lift to our service. And we have, last but not least, we have 2 well-educated coaches, full-time, myself from Finland and Jimmy Komolainen, our head coach from Sweden. And that's the quality that I like to always put my finger on. Yes, it costs money, but then again, you have to always look at what quality do I get for what I pay for. And I think that's the key question here. Anywhere you go in the world, you will get different kind of price offers. You will get different kind of quality checks to what is offered to you as a family, what's promised to you as a family. And if you look at us, we are definitely a high-end quality wines, what we offer to our families, but we are not more expensive or too high cost to manage for families in hockey market.